I didn't shave. Kate, how did you do?
Hey guys, I'm
Hi,
Kate.
I'm Graham.
I'm your plastic-free mermaid, and this is Graham Forbes. What's your title?
I am the global project leader for the plastics campaign at Greenpeace.
Well done.
Yes,
Nice work.
thank you. Glad to be here.
Repping the brand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I met Graham at the Break Free from Plastics conference in Bali in Indonesia last year. And now we're here on this boat together, focus in on the Break Free from Plastics campaign and focus in on Greenpeace plastics campaign to really target the corporations.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, all your viewers know plastic is a massive international crisis. And so when you really look at the source causes, which is what Greenpeace wants to do, is take those head on, really it leads back to the corporate sector and corporations just producing fundamentally too much plastic. And so when we think about how to solve the problem, it's really important to think about who has responsibility and how do we tackle that really holistically. And so from our perspective, corporations need to make commitments and just produce a lot less plastic, and governments need to hold them accountable.
And what are you seeing from governments? Why isn't that kind of the strategy tactic?
Yeah, well, we think about it in three different pillars. So one is corporate and focusing on corporations. The other is political, and we're also working through the international political processes, as well as a lot of local bans and regulations at the national level around the world. And then the third is really culture and thinking about how people and how we can really get out of this single-use mindset that is fundamentally unsustainable.
Yep. Okay. And so politically, like, what kind of bans are useful? Are the straw bans enough, or is that kind of just low-hanging fruit, or is that kind of a stepping point?
Yeah, when you think about bans on straws or certain individual items, those are a signal that people care about this issue, and they're starting to see the beginning steps of politicians paying attention and putting something in place. They will never go far enough, and that's really, straws are sort of symbolic of the problem we have, but we need to go much deeper and really think about how products are delivered to people more broadly, and the throwaway culture that companies like Nestle are really perpetuating.
Right. So this is a corporate campaign really targeting Nestle. And why, of all the plastic polluters on the planet, in the world, is Nestle the focus?
Yeah, so Nestle produces about 1.7 million tons of plastic every single year. They're one of the largest food companies in the world. They're in every market, and they aggressively market to certain regions and certain parts of the world that are even more problematic from a plastic problem. And so we're going after Nestle because they have a unique responsibility to take action and start to rethink how they bring their products to people. And if you look at the different companies that are taking action, we can all acknowledge Nestle isn't the only problem, but they are one of the biggest problems, and we need to create a leader, and we need to show real leadership.
And do you think Nestle will be that leader?
I mean, I think they have a real opportunity to step up and start reducing the amount of plastic that they're producing. And unfortunately, so far, we've seen the public challenge. They've really doubled down on the single-use model and are continuing to explore how they can pump out more packaging, which is unfortunate. But we're optimistic that as more people come up and call on them to take action, and Nestle will do the right thing, start investing in real solutions, and really start looking at their overall packaging portfolio with a clear goal to reduce how much single-use plastic units they put out into the world.
Awesome. And with Greenpeace, we're protesting, we're out in, bringing the plastic monster to the headquarters. Is there behind the scenes stuff happening as well that you're a part of?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're engaging with the company, which is really important. We're talking to other companies. We're talking to politicians. And so it takes a comprehensive effort from everyone involved. And I think the other thing that's so important is Greenpeace is a big international organization, but really happy to be part of the Break Free from Plastic movement, all the groups all around the world that are fighting this, really to get to a place where we just don't have all of this plastic destroying our environment and communities.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the Break Free from Plastic is an alliance of organizations working together on this issue, and this particular leg is focusing on the corporate. I'm curious again about the political. What would be ideal? Would it be good to have? Is it possible to have legislation across the planet around packaging, or what are kind of some goals in that
Absolutely.
sector?
So the UN
Yeah.
environmental program is we're looking at we just had a meeting in Africa recently to talk about what some of those solutions are. And so we're at the very initial stages, and those are long, slow processes. And one thing I think everyone gets, right, is we don't have a lot of time. And so those are ramping up, and we'd like to see the corporations are really influential in those spaces. So pushing for more progressive legislation is important there. But in the short term, day in and day out, these companies are producing endless single-use plastic, and fundamentally, we just need to stop producing so much.
Right. Okay. And that's what this finger being pointed at Nestle is all about.
Absolutely.
Just bringing awareness and putting them in the spotlight.
Taking responsibility for the life cycle of their products, which right now they push on us to recycle, but really that's never going to cut it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Graham.
Cheers. Thanks, Kate.
Yeah, where can people follow along the campaigns?
Please join us at greenpeace.org wherever you are, and sign on the petition, and let's get Nestle to step up and be a real leader.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, thanks, guys. Definitely subscribe for more interviews and follow Greenpeace and the hashtag Plastic Monster to watch the rest of that campaign. It's going to get exciting. Bye.